Right, first place. This might shock some people.
Let go of the brittle, 'cause you'll find life is a riddle that we're not meant to understand.
Hi guys, how's it going? And today we are back with another video, and in today's video I'm going to be going through my predicted league table for the end of the coming season, League 2 that is. The season's set to begin this coming weekend, September the 12th. So yeah, as I said, that's the weekend coming at the time of filming this, with a proportion of fans being allowed back in from October, which is good news. Obviously it is a shame that fans can't come back in full capacity, but obviously the pandemic is still going on and the clubs have to be careful with it. But it is great to see fans will be coming back in October time. So if you do go on to enjoy this video, please do smash likes. Try and smash 20 likes on this video, really would appreciate that. If you are new and you do enjoy the content on the channel, please do feel free to subscribe. I am on the road to 500 subscribers. I can't thank you guys enough. Genuinely, the support over the past year, I'd say, of fully vlogging and fully doing videos is honestly absolutely crazy. I can't thank you guys enough. I have had a little bit of a break from YouTube. I think it's 3 weeks or so I've been away from it, but I am back now and I will be doing as many videos as possible for you guys. But as I said, thank you so much for the support. It really does mean more than you know. And yeah, if you are new, please do feel free to subscribe. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into my predicted League 2 table for the 2021 season. Okay, so how I'm going to be doing this is I'm going to be going from 24th to first place. Before I do get into it though, it is just my opinion and it is just a prediction. It's not any judgment to the club. It's based off the transfer window they've had, previous seasons, and just the history of the club in terms of experience in the players and stuff like that. So it is just a prediction. It's no insult to any of the clubs. It's just how I think it's going to happen. So we will start off in 24th place. I am going to go for Stevenage. You know, they managed to survive purely thanks to the EFL point deductions on Macclesfield by 3 points after only picking up 3 wins all season. Moving on, 23rd place, I have gone for a newly promoted through the playoffs, Harrogate Town. As I said, they've just been promoted to the Football League for the first time in the club's history. I think they'll narrowly go down. I think it will go right to the wire, but I just don't think the players are going to have enough experience. There's not really much there, not really much going for them. And yeah, there's not really much more I can say on that one, so I have put Harrogate in 23rd place. Moving on to 22nd, I have gone for Morecambe. It was a poor previous season for the Shrimps last season. They've made several poor signings, likes of Calvin Mellor. It's not really good enough for League 2 quality at this point. I think they'll narrowly go. I think they'll narrowly stay up, rather. But they have also made a few decent signings this window, but not enough to suggest that they'll be, you know, pushing up the table. There's definitely a lot of room for improvement at Morecambe going into next season. Moving on to 21st. Now, I've seen a lot of people put this team in relegation, and they were relegated from League 1 last season, and it is Southend. Now, I just can't see them getting back-to-back relegations. You know, I know the club is in a very poor financial state. You know, they haven't really made too much action this transfer window. No really marquee signings for the club. There's not really much going for them going into this season. They only managed 4 league wins all season last season, so very poor from them. Finished on minus 46 goal difference. Worst in League 1 last season. Very, very poor from them. Southend in 21st. Okay, moving on to 20th. Now, this might surprise some people, but I don't think it'll surprise too many. I have put Crawley. I do like Crawley. They're a decent little team. I've got nothing against them at all. I do know some people that are Crawley fans, and they're very nice people, so that's probably why I have a bit of a soft spot for them. But they did lose key players, Lubala and Palmer. Very poor transfer window in terms of bringing in players. You know, they brought in Tom Nichols the other day. I can't see him doing well for him. And I am really only judging that on how he played for Cheltenham, but he was playing around better players at Cheltenham, and he still didn't really make an impact at all in the games that he did play. And I do think Crawley will definitely struggle this season. But they will stay up by a fair margin. But yeah, there will be a lot of room for improvement going into the season after that. In 19th, this one, again, might surprise a few people. I have put Barrow. Now, I just think, you know, if I'm right in saying it's they've been in the 4th division of English football once before. But it was around 60 years ago, before it was called League 2. They'll safely stay up for me, but I don't know why. Something's just telling me that they will have a decent little season and they will stay up. And maybe do sort of a Grimsby, maybe start pushing up to those higher positions in the league. Maybe, you know, the 15th, the 14th, maybe for them in coming seasons. But yeah, I've seen a lot of people put them low down in the table, but I do think they will finish 19th for me. Moving on to 18th, this may be another surprising one to some people. I have gone for Leyton Orient. They're lacking that promotion threat in terms of attacking. A very average -8 goal difference last year. Not the best of defence. There's not really much going for them, and that's the issue, is that this season is going to be so competitive. You know, you've got the likes of Bolton, Port Vale, Tranmere, you know, the likes of us. Teams like that, Salford City pushing up, Forest Green pushing up, Exeter going for it again. Brilliant little teams like that are going to be the ones that are, you know, going to push Leyton Orient down the table if they're not careful, you know. Okay, moving swiftly onwards, we do have Newport County. I do think it'll be a very average season for them. They haven't had the best recruitment. It has got a bit better over the past few weeks. But the likes of Kevin Ellison, bit of an interesting one for them. But who knows? He might become top scorer for him. We never know in this league. But no, on a serious note, the loss of Jamil Matt could potentially affect their season. I didn't personally think he was all that good for them, but the Newport fans do say different from what I've heard. I think they will comfortably stay safe from relegation, but it won't be a season to remember for the fans. Unfortunately, I just can't see them really having much threat in terms of pushing up the table, or maybe even pushing for promotion. I just can't see it really happening for them. Moving on to 16th place, we do have Scunthorpe. A poor 20th place finish for them last season, and I can only see them pushing up a few places this season. There's not much else really to say. It's been an average transfer window, average last season, average pre-season. Nothing really to shout about, in all fairness. I'm going to move straight on to 15th there. We do have Oldham Athletic. Here's a little story for you. When I did start planning this video, which was a few weeks ago, it's taken me a very long time to get my head around what I want to do with this. I had to wait for transfers and stuff like that to see where I wanted to finalise and finish putting the teams. When I started planning it, I did think Oldham were going to really struggle this season. You know, they were looking at, they were potentially going to go into administration towards the end of last season. But with the solid transfer window they've had, I think they'll safely secure mid-table, because genuinely, goodness knows where the money has come from for these transfers. The fans don't know either. I've talked to some of them. They have no clue, but whatever the budget's been, they've done really well with what they've got. So fair play to Oldham. I have put them in 15th. Pretty much mid-table there for them, and maybe they might surprise us, you know, with the signings they've got. It has been a really good window for them, but I have put them in 15th, just purely because they do still have, you know, half of the team is still a bit meh. But anyway, moving on to 14th, we do have Cambridge United. That will surprise some people again, because obviously they've signed Houlihan, but they'll definitely do 100% better than they did last season. However, with the loss of defender George Taft to Bolton, I can't really see them pushing for the playoffs. It will be an attacking, very attacking, goal-scoring season, this campaign. For all clubs, really, got a lot of good serial goal scorers. So defence is going to be vital, and I just can't see it really happening for them. But I do think they will finish in 14th, and maybe in seasons to come, they might push for, you know, top half of the table. We'll see. But this season, I can't really see it happening for them. I have put them in 14th. Okay, next up is a bit of a surprising one for some people. I have gone for Colchester United. Playoff semi-finalists last year, but the loss of players like Noble, Prosser, Ryan Jackson, that will really affect them. I can't see them making another promotion push this season at all. You know, they've lost so many key players that it's just going to really unstabilise the squad. I don't really think they've made any big signings. I do think it'll be a mid-table finish for the U's. I can't really see it being anything from that, to be honest. I can't see it being any far away from that gas. That's probably the one I'm most confident in, if anything, looking at the figures and everything like that. I just can't see it happening from this season, unfortunately. Moving on to 12th, we do have Walsall. I have put them exactly where they finished last season, as I just can't really see any dramatic change happening in the squad. Also, the defence was a huge issue for them last season, conceding a poor 49 goals. And as I said, it is going to be a high goal-scoring season this coming year. And if they don't sort that defence out, they will really struggle. And I do worry for them, because they're a good little team in patches, but they will definitely need to stabilise that back of that midfield and the defence. I don't really know what transfers they've made, in all fairness. They might have signed some brilliant defenders, but who knows? We have to see these players play in competitive games and League 2 games to judge on how exactly they're going to do in the coming season. But judging off of what they had last season, and what I think is going to go into this season, I do think Walsall are going to finish it in 12th. Okay, moving into the top half of the table. Again, this might surprise some people, and the club's fans probably will be a bit annoyed at this one, but I have put Mansfield in 11th place. They have had a successful transfer window. However, Danny Rose being rumoured to Bradford would be a huge loss for the Stags. But I think this will be a far better season compared to the previous campaign. But I still don't think there's quite enough there. I don't think you've got a very good manager. I don't think he has the right attitude. I just don't think he's going to... I can't see him going anywhere far with Mansfield, in all fairness. But, you know, we've got to wait until the season starts to see that. You know, we've got to see the team play. Because for all I know, Mansfield could win the league this season. But judging off of the transfers, etc., I do think they are going to finish in 11th. Next up is another quite surprising one in comparison to last season. We do have Grimsby Town. A solid season for the Mariners under Ian Holloway, I think, is to come. Finished 15th last year, so a big difference. But I personally think they'll have a better campaign this season. It's just Ian Holloway is an excellent manager, you know. I do think they deserve to finish higher up in the table. Last season, I do think they were a bit hard done by in terms of some of the results they got. But yeah, I do think it is going to be a good season for them. A decent little transfer window for the club as well. So yeah, Grimsby are in 10th on my list. 9th, another quite surprising one. I have gone for Carlisle United. Now, I think probably I'd say they've had top 3 best recruitments in League 2 this window. Signing the likes of Joe Riley and South African Dean Furman. They're definitely beginning to build a very good little squad. And I can see them really pushing up the table in seasons to come. They are really building an excellent sort of legacy there. And I do think, you know, there's the best to come for the Carlisle fans. They're definitely starting to rebuild the club and maybe even try and establish them as a League One side, because I do think that's the way it's going with the signings they've made and the amount of signings they've made. Right, moving on to 8th. Now, one spot off of playoffs, I have gone for Forest Green Rovers. And so again, people will have a go at me for this. Obviously, I'm a Charlton fan. I can't avoid that. But this might shock other people and other fans as well. They've recruited reasonably well over the summer, but I think they'll narrowly just miss out on the playoffs purely because of the loss of captain Joseph Mills. He was an absolutely brilliant captain for them. Obviously, I don't like to admit it because obviously I'm a Charlton fan, but he was a brilliant captain for them. Decent little player as well. But I do think already I can tell that the season after, I do think they'll go up because they're just the right signings slowly. The financial backing, they are going to reach League One at some point over the next few years, but I just don't think it's going to be this coming season. Right, in the first playoff spot in 7th place, I have gone for Stuart McCall's Bradford City. A solid transfer window with the likes of the signing of Elliot Watt. Brilliant signing for them. Stuart McCall's definitely building a very solid squad at Bradford. You know, the likes of Novak, Guthrie, players like that, excellent little players. They did lose James Vaughan, unfortunately, to Tranmere, but I don't think that will affect them too badly. He was very good for Tranmere in previous seasons on loan, but I don't think it'll affect them too much. You know, they do have the likes of Novak up front, which will hopefully solidify them as having a solid striker and goal-scoring threat. But yeah, as I said, I do think they will secure playoffs. Narrowly just above Forest Green, but I do think they'll finish there. And yeah, Bradford City in 7th. Moving on, 6th place, I have gone for the regular playoff finishers, Exeter City. I've seen a lot of people put them higher up than this, but personally I do think they will finish in 6th. They've had several unfortunate playoff losses in the past, obviously last year losing 4-0 to Northampton in the playoff final. The less said about Northampton, the better, from my point of view. But anyway, they do have a very solid squad, but the likes of Randall Williams potentially being rumoured to Peterborough could really affect them. Probably their best player. And I think it'll be another playoff finish for them. But obviously with the rumours surrounding Randall Williams, if he does go, genuinely Forest Green could push up into that playoff spot. But the way it is, I can see Exeter finishing top 6, top 7 rather, in my opinion. They do have a decent little squad. And the track record in terms of the amount of playoffs they've been in shows that, really. So yeah, moving on to 5th. Now, this is a bit of a controversial one because a lot of people have put this team higher, and a lot of people have put them lower in their predictions. I have gone for Salford City. They do have a solid squad. However, they do have a bit of a dodgy manager. He's very on and off, you know. Sometimes he organises the team brilliantly on match day, and then other times it's an absolute shambles. But I do think Salford fans are in for a good season with their club. You know, they have the likes of Ash Hunter, brilliant little player. But as I said, the manager, room for improvement, but he can be good at times. But I do think in the next at least 2 years, Salford City will go up to League One. Obviously, the financial backing behind the club. And moving on into 4th place, the narrowly missing out on automatic promotion. And here's where the controversy comes in. I have put Bolton Wanderers. They do have an excellent squad. You know, you look at it on paper, the likes of Owen Doyle, Sarcevic, George Taft, brilliant players like that. And they've had a really poor pre-season. You know, the likes of the loss to Bradford City in the Carabao Cup, really poor. It's a huge test for manager Ian Evatt, obviously, after his promotion campaign with Barrow last season, getting promoted to the Football League with them. It is a big step up for him, and I don't think he and the club will do as well as their fans think, just purely based off of... I just can't see... If you're going to make signings like that, you have to win the games. Even the pre-season games, they have to win the games. They have to show to the fans that these players are going to play for the badge and they're going to work together. And that's not what they've shown as of yet. Might be different in the league, but I just can't see them as it is finishing automatic promotion. Moving on into 3rd place. And as it happens, I have actually put this team lower than a lot of other people that I've seen. I have put my team, Charlton Town, in 3rd place. We've had a brilliant pre-season. Also signed the likes of Matty Blair and Liam Serkin. Brilliant signings. I love the club as well, they do. I don't think the loss of Ryan Broom will affect us too much. He was a brilliant little player for us, nonetheless, though. And I wish the best to him at Peterborough United. But we have signed the likes of young players, Elliot Bonds and Lewis Freeston. I do think they'll really prove themselves in the season to come. You know, Jake Doyle-Hayes did the same last season. Jacob Grooves and Max Sheaf, all 3 of them, absolutely excellent last season. I think it'll be more of the same going into this coming season. There's nothing more ready to say on it, but I do think we will narrowly finish in the automatics. And that would just be amazing if we do. But I genuinely can see it happening if you look at the stats, you look at it on paper. And the pre-season, everything is swinging in the right direction for us. So I do think we will finish in 3rd. Moving swiftly onwards, we do have 2nd place. And I have gone for Port Vale. Now, I've seen a lot of people put Port Vale top, but they do have a great manager. Very unlucky to not reach playoffs last season, as they finished the season very strongly. I think it was only like 1 point away from that final playoff spot instead of replacing Northampton. I think they'll carry on from where they left off last season, and I do think they will reach automatic promotion. I think there's not really much else to say, really. They were a brilliant team towards the end of last season, and I do think they'll carry that on. Right, first place. Now, again, this is a very controversial one. I have not seen anyone put this team top on their list, but I have gone for Tranmere Rovers. Now, as I said, this one might shock some people, but they were very, very unlucky to be relegated last season, missing out on staying up by just 3 points. And to make it worse, they did have a game in hand on Wimbledon, the team above them, in safety, which would have potentially helped them stay up, rather. They were behind them on goal difference, but, you know, if the season was played on, I'm sure they would have stayed up. Their transfer business has been superb over the summer, with the likes of striker James Vaughan on a free transfer from Bradford City and Jay Spearing to top that off. The two best signings, in my opinion. Excellent window. You know, as I said, very unlucky to be relegated last season. I don't think they deserved it at all, and I do think they will go up this coming season. And that is it for today's video. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you did enjoy. Do feel free to comment down below what you would change about my my predicted league table. I know a lot of people will have different opinions, but as I said, it's just a prediction. It's just my opinion on it. I feel free to have a debate with someone about it, because at the end of the day, everyone has an opinion, and I can completely agree with what anyone says, because at the end of the day, everyone has a different viewpoint on everything. But anyway, nonetheless, also do feel free to like and subscribe if you did enjoy the video. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.